Hey everybody, in this video we're going to finish out the chapter 8 homework problems, and we're going to do our our ratio problem here. And first thing, actually let me see if I should copy in yeah, there's not really too much to, I'm not going to snip the thing over there. I'm just going to update this so I can we can more easily see the instructions here. So we're going to calculate each company's asset turnover for this current year here, and which company used its assets most efficiently, and then show the formulas, etc. So yeah, so let's take a look. The first thing I like to do, just because I'm weird, is that already included in it? There we go. Change everything to be a little more uniform in terms of the format. And here it gives you a little hint, or it tells you, asset turnover is net sales divided by average total assets. So let's put a few rows in, and let's do a couple things here. First, let's wrap the text so it's not going over so much. And then let's make these a little wider. Let's make each row, let's make it wider. Okay, 35. The last one here, let's merge, and I just like to format this a little bit to get it a little more structured when we look at the overall setup here. So this is just kind of a reminder. So I'm just going through and merging these cells to create a larger space for us here to kind of answer in. And then this one, I'm just going to merge the whole thing and just orient it over. And yeah, let's add columns there. That's looking kind of better. I'm actually going to take this. You guys don't have to exactly copy what I'm doing, but if you want to, I'm just going to put that here. And if you hold Alt, Enter, it'll kind of move things down. I'm going to decrease the size on this too, just a little bit, so it's more of a, and then we can get rid of this. Okay. To me, that looks a little cleaner, and when spreadsheets look cleaner, this helps me do my analysis and review the spreadsheet, etc. Okay, let's kind of get things cleaned up. I just made the rows all the same size, and we're looking pretty good, but I want to copy. Actually, let's not copy that. Let's just, I'm going to do 50 row height. Let's make one more here, and let's say average total assets. And we're going to put these here, here, and here. So we just kind of put some text boxes in. We're only doing the current year average because we're taking the beginning plus the current divided by 2. So we don't really have the, if we wanted to get the last year's average, we would have to have the year before that as well. And now let's kind of clean that up. Oh, you know what? Now that I'm looking at this, actually, we need something more of the same there. And then this one we can have as a text box for just answering. So, okay, so that all looks pretty good. Let's take the grid lines off here. And now we've got kind of a nice setup for answering our problem here, I think. Okay, so like I said, first thing I want to do is just get our average total assets. So we're going to take current assets for the year plus prior divided by 2. Very simple average. And then we could just copy and paste that formula in. So it's just taking the current plus the prior year divided by 2. And then we have average assets. So now we can calculate our asset turnover by taking net sales for the current year divided by average total assets. And we'll do the same thing throughout. So again, just taking average or net sales divided by average total assets. So that's the ratio there. And then let's see, what else do we need to do? Okay, so which company uses assets most efficiently? And that would be Walmart. Here we can see has the highest net sales as a percent of total assets. So we'll put Walmart in here. And that's about all I got to do for this problem. Not too much. Most of the time was spent just, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I just like having kind of a nice structure with boxes and things to input into. So, you know, maybe learn some Excel skills. That's kind of part of why I like doing that cleanup stuff too, is just to have you guys, if you want to follow me, you can practice some of the formatting techniques and things like that. And I don't know, I find it valuable anyway. Let's see, what else do we want to talk about? Yeah, just having a higher asset turnover is more positive. It's associated with using assets most efficiently. And if you think about it, really what we're getting at here is which company has the highest net sales as a percent of assets. So which company can make more money with less assets, right? So in an extreme example of a company that would have, you know, if you could think of a company that's barely making any sales but has tons of buildings and equipment and other assets, that company is going to have a really low asset turnover. Whereas a company who has very high sales with very low assets would have a higher asset turnover ratio, basically. So higher is better, and Walmart is the most efficient one in this example. So yeah, that's all we got to do on this one. Pretty easy. And that wraps up our series on the Chapter 8 homework. So hope you all have enjoyed the video series, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, thanks.